Hello everybody and welcome back to Simple Art for Adults. My name is Erin and I am just gonna color and chat today. Didn't have anything really planned. I'm not gonna work on the second part of the color along just yet. I'm still finishing up the wood. So that should be uploading for you guys. As a matter of fact, it's uploading right now. So you guys should be seeing that tonight. It is Monday night. It is about 8:30. I have some coffee in my other coloring mug. I can't tilt it too far, but you can see what it looks like. This was a gift from my best friend and her kids for Christmas. I'm drinking some Kroger's version of Donut Shop coffee, and it's a medium roast, and it's really, really good. I almost like it better than the Maxwell House because I just like the Donut Shop. Like the actual Donut Shop coffee that comes in the blue box with the pods. I like that one a lot too. So I thought for a while, I was watching Sandy Allnock over on YouTube. I was watching her watercolor some foxes, and it was the cutest thing ever. And so I decided maybe I would watercolor a little bit. So I have some things here to show you. I've been working on this page here in Jardin. I don't know if that's how you say it or not. I'm horrible at saying things. This is a book all about gardening, and it's by Peggy Jo Ackley. So I was asked to do a flip through of this book, so we'll do that really quickly. I've got a couple different pages going here, but I'll flip through it for you. As you can see, it's kind of a small book. Here's my hand, and I have tiny hands, so it's kind of a small little book. So the pictures in it, some of them are going to be quick colors, other ones not so much. It is double-sided. She gives you some coloring tips and tricks in the front, so there is all of that, and then in the back it gives you color palettes. So you can like swatch out colored pencils or, you know, whatever you want to do. So this is the title page, the Bella Jardin, or however you say it. This here, it's got those same little packets on it. Let's try to get this comfortable. This book is filled with quotes and patterns and all kinds of cute little things. I like most of the pictures in it. You're also going to find recipes all throughout the book, which is really cool. The ones like this I'm not a really big fan of, how she kind of goes around and outlines the shading. They're cute, and I'm thinking that maybe when I get it colored it'll disappear, but I'm not really a big fan of that, but we'll see what I can do with it. So there's just all kinds of different like vegetables and trees and quotes and garden scenes, and a lot of them are absolutely gorgeous. There's more recipes for blueberry muffins. The pages are perforated, so you can tear them out of the book if you want. This was a lovely one colored. I can't remember who it was, and I am so sorry, but when I posted the link to this book in the Coloring Connection on Facebook, someone had posted this picture colored, and she'd done a wonderful job. It was gorgeous. We've got some herbs and different flowers and stuff. More sayings. The A to Z of the farmer's market. Butternut squash recipe. This is going to be an interesting one to color with all the glass. I'm going to have to watch some tutorials on that one myself. I almost colored this with the colanders and all the different vegetables. These are cute boots. See, there's all just these really cute pictures in here. They're just really, some of them are crazy detailed. This one's adorable. I really like it. We'll get to one of the ones I'm coloring here in a minute, and the one that I'm going to work on with you guys today. Cherry clafouti. That's an interesting recipe. Ooh, the succulents is going to be fun. I've been watching the Frugal Crafter, Lindsay. I don't know if you guys ever watch her on YouTube. Whenever I'm having like an off day and I just don't feel motivated to do anything, I will turn, I can't say her last name, I don't remember what it is, but I'll turn on the Frugal Crafter on YouTube, and she does a lot of watercoloring and all kinds of different things. And she's just so positive and upbeat. It's like she's had 6 cups of coffee every single video that she does, and it's fantastic. And not in a bad way. It's not in a bad way. It's in the best way possible, and I absolutely love her. So I was watching her the other day, and she did a watercolor painting of some succulents, and I just love how she watercolors. Not a care in the world. She likes the loose watercolor style. The grapes are going to be fun. I get to look those up and see what color they all are. Watermelon and feta salad. I'm not a fan of watermelon, but that actually sounds good. And this is the one that I'm going to be working on with you guys today. Just birdhouses. And it says, hear how the birds on every blooming spray with joyous music wake the dawning day. So basically every time the flowers bloom, that's when they're making their music and waking everybody up at dawn. I've been using polychromos on this so far, and they are wonderful in this book. And I've struggled with polychromos since I've had them. But in this book, they are a dream. Look at the layering and blending I've gotten here. I mean, my goodness. That's fantastic for me with polychromos. So I'm really excited to finish this page. Move this back out of the way a little. And there's a lot of pictures in here. I wish I knew what was all in my book. So some of these would be neat. Like, I don't know if you guys have been watching A Colorful Life, but Anne is doing, she's been doing like junk journaling, collaging. Some of these pages, because they just tear right out of the book. And if you're watching this, something like this, you could color and then cut out and collage each letter individually, and maybe some of the gloves. There's all kinds of neat stuff in this book for that. And if you're going to cut it out anyway and cut the things out, you could use marker on it because you wouldn't be coloring the back. See? Got you all figured out, girlfriend. I like this a lot. How does your garden grow? Peppers and peppers and onions. And mushrooms too. Persimmons. I love persimmons. Ooh, that one's, I like that a lot. I'm excited to color that. That's going to be tricky too, trying to color the glass like where it's translucent. That's going to be neat. Tangerines, lemons, oranges, and grapefruit. Sunshine in a glass. Oh, that's got that 70s font. I like that. And then this one is a color along that I'm doing with, if you guys watch Latimia, I'm sorry, I'm so bad with names. Her YouTube channel is Cali Girl in NC. If I remember to do so, I'm going to link it in the description box. So she and I are doing this one as a buddy color type thing. And I'm using Black Widows on this. The ones that I have that aren't breaking. I'm trying to use them on this to get the feel for them. And my corn turned out a little more orange than what I had anticipated. But that's okay. That's okay. I think once I get some other colors in here, it's going to be just fine. So I'm not too worried about it. All kinds of pears. Pairs of pears. Flowers bees love. Some of these would be cute, guys, to like take them out, color them, and you could frame some of these. They would make like awesome little wall art for like your bathroom or your kitchen. Plums, persimmons. Let me set my coffee down. My neighbors are outside and they're like super loud, so if you hear things banging around, it isn't me, it's them. This is adorable. Oh, the aprons. They've got kids over there too. Friends are veggies in the salad of life. That's so cheesy, but it's so cute. Okie dokie artichoke. I say this all the time. Asparagus. It's one of my favorite things ever. If you guys have never roasted asparagus in your oven, I'm going to tell you how to do it. It's so easy. You take your bunch of asparagus. Of course, you snap it off where the harder ends are. You just kind of snap it and break it off. And it should naturally break where it should break. Then you're going to take a clove of garlic, like one clove, good sized clove per bunch of asparagus, and some olive oil, and spread your asparagus and your garlic all out on a sheet pan. And then you take a liberal dose of olive oil and rub it all over, and then you just crack some salt. I like to do sea salt from the grinder all over the top. You put it in the oven at like 400, 425, depending on your oven. And it takes about 10 minutes usually. Like I said, all ovens are different, but the tips get just the slightest little bit crispy, and the stems of it just are perfect. They don't get soggy, they don't get stringy, they just get delicious. Ever since I learned how to do it, I haven't done it any other way. So that was the flip through for you, and this is what the cover looks like again, if you guys are interested. I think I paid $11 or $12 for this on Amazon, and for all the pictures that you get in here, it is well worth it. I like its size, I like the pictures. I don't have any other coloring books that are anything like this, which is primarily why I bought it. Alright, so after I chug down some more coffee here, I'm really thirsty and tired. Oh, a friend of mine said I should show you guys how to do something else. Alright, so these are my earbuds. And if you notice, watch this. No tangles. It just came all the way apart. So there's this method that I have to putting my earbuds away, and I'm going to show you how to do it. And I know this has nothing to do with coloring, but if you guys can benefit from it, hey, why not show you, right? That's kind of what I do. So you're going to take your hand, you're going to take your earbuds and hold them like this, right? And you're going to put your thumb over them so that you've got these just barely dangling. Then you're going to do like metal horns, right? And then you're going to figure 8 around your thumb and your pinky, just like this. Just figure 8 around your thumb and your pinky. And then when you get to where you have just a little bit left, pinch it. Like, let's see if I can turn my hand. Pinch it right here in the middle. Pull it off your fingers. Put this side to where it lines up. Keep it pinched. And then wrap this around. And stick it through the loops. And now you can put your earbuds on your table in a little basket, and they won't get all tangled up. I wouldn't recommend throwing them in your purse this way because it's not really tight. It'll still come undone. So there you go, Susie. You asked me to show how I do my earbuds so that you can watch me doing it. So hopefully that'll help you out some. Alright, so I thought what I was going to do today, instead of coloring with my polychromos, and I may actually do some coloring with my polychromos. I'm working on the fence on this, and I'm using some warm grays to do this fence, and I love the way it's turning out. I may go back in and add a little more contrast or some stripes or something to it to make it look a little more realistic. I'm not sure yet. But what I want to do is work on the background. And I may have to get up and go get something. I'm going to use these to do it. The fine folks at Arteza, I have been working with them now for like a year or so. I mean, I haven't heard from them in a while, but they asked me if I wanted to try some products, and I said sure. So they sent me their set of 72 watercolor pencils, and this is the full set. It has the exact same colors as their 72 set of regular colored pencils, which is really, really nice. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to pick some colors, and we're going to do this background. I think because I have soft colors going on in this, what I want to do is a gradient from purple to pink to orange to yellow. And I think that's how we're going to do it, because down here I'm going to have to put some green. So we're going to stop the yellow probably right, I don't know, maybe at the top of the fence. So I'm going to show you what they look like. There's my Scholar Box sticker. Now, they do this a lot like the polychromos. Now, if you look at a regular polychromos, you see that it's round. It has a gold band at the top. The ends are capped. This is exactly how Arteza does their colored pencils also. Now, the Albrecht Dürer, I do not have those, but I have seen them used 100 times. They look a lot like the polychromos, the original polychromos, but they're hexagonal. I can't say that word. And that's exactly what Arteza has done with their watercolor pencils. They have the same band at the top, except this one's silver instead of gold, and the pencil is hexagonal. So, what I'm going to do is pause the video, go grab my swatch book, and pick some colors. I'll be right back with you. Alrighty, and we are back, and I have my swatches. I'm so sorry for the glare. I need to work out some kind of setup to where we don't have that. And if anybody that does photography feels like reaching out to me and giving me a hand, that would be wonderful. Please do. So I'm going to pick a purple, a pink, an orange, and yellow that I think are going to blend well together, which may be a little tough because trying to blend pinks into yellows gets a little hard. I think if we go with honey for our pink and we do something like apricot instead of orange, or honey for our yellow and something like apricot instead of orange, that might work better. So we could go from, or even coral. That might work even better. So we could go from like, let's see. Decisions. Okay, purple iris is a good one. So from purple iris to lilac to peony maybe, and then from peony to apricot, and from apricot to honey. I think that will work. So let me find these colors. Alright, so we need purple iris, which should be right over here somewhere. Lilac, peony, apricot, and honey. So here will be our transition. We're going to go from dark purple, lighter purple, pink, coral. That looks kind of sunsetty, don't you think? That's kind of what I'm going for. So we'll start with those. Let me move my binder of everything out of the way, and we'll get this going. So I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to sharpen my pencil. So I'm going to color all of this before I put any water on it at all. And I like to sharpen these. I keep it at 1 for my Prismacolors, but for like the Arteza pencils and my polychromos, 3 is where I like it. So as you can see, guys, you get a whopper of a point. I really like it. And so what I'm going to do is bring it down to like here. And then there's going to be like a hard transition there because that's where I'm going to put the ground. I'm going to do a ground color, and it'll just be like a hard line transition there. And I'm going to hope this works out, guys, because I'm going to be honest with you, watercolor pencils are not my forte whatsoever. I am just not that good with them. But I was told that if I use a nice light pressure and put my color down evenly, and then blend it out nice and carefully, that I'll get nice even coverage if I just don't use a lot of water. I learned a lot about like basic watercoloring techniques lately. Like this paper's pretty smooth, right? So because the paper's really smooth, I want to use a softer brush when I do this, because if I use too hard of a brush, what's going to happen is it's going to, instead of blending out the color, it's going to dig the color off, I guess. Like it'll get down in there and the water will actually lift the color off if the brush is too hard, too firm, too whatever. I don't know what the word is. So I'm going to try to use a soft brush, but I don't want a whole lot of water, because if I put too much water, it'll move the color around too much, and I don't want that either. So I have to find a brush that's soft but doesn't hold too much water, which is going to be a trick because my paintbrush selection is slim pickings, but we'll find something. I may end up going with my goat hair bristle ones that I got. I just got them not too long ago and I really like them. They're really nice. I paid like $7 for the whole set. And I'll just like use a towel and squeeze some of the water out of it. Oh, I went down too far with that. Oh well, I'll erase it. Alright guys, my telephone is ringing now, so I will be right back. Alright everybody, welcome back. That was a much longer break than it should have been for me. So it's now 10:30 p.m. And so yeah, I'm going to go back to coloring. Actually, I'm going to zoom you guys in a little bit more here, so you can maybe see a little bit better what I'm doing. And basically I'm still just taking the yellow, the honey, and the Arteza set, and I'm just kind of putting it in all the little gaps here. I'm going to try to make a sunset gradient. And I just realized I'm going to need some seriously tiny paintbrushes to make this work. But I can do that. It'll be alright. I think I might need to move this light to where it's more in front of me. Let's see if that doesn't help with some of the... Oh yeah, that's better. So now that it's so late, I've traded my coffee for Dr. Pepper. It's probably not a whole lot better, but well, you know, it's not coffee. And it has also dawned on me that I am not going to be able to finish all of this tonight, because I will be up much later than I need to be up, and that won't be a good thing. So I'm going to get some of it done, and then when I come back, I'm going to try to fit it all into one video. But there will be a pause, and then you'll come back and you'll probably see more of the flowers and stuff colored. So we'll just record it over multiple days, which is fine with me. So I'm bringing the yellow down in a few places. I figure it doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. Or it shouldn't make a whole lot of difference anyway. Oh, that's the stalk. We don't want to color that. Yeah, that's about right. Bring it down to about there. So how was everybody's Monday? Mine was crazy busy as per the usual. Had all the weekend catching up to do with all of my clients. It seems like on Mondays everybody needs everything yesterday. And there's only one of me, so there's only so much I can do. But I managed to make it happen. We need to come up higher with this. It's higher on the rest of the picture, so. And it doesn't have to be like perfectly straight across, and it'll look better if it's not perfectly straight across anyway. These colors are so smooth in this book. It's really, really nice. And while I'm not trying to be like messy with it, I'm also, I'm not worrying about it being perfect. I don't want to be messy, completely messy, but I'm not worrying about perfection, because like I said, we're going to blend all this out with water anyway, so it won't make a whole great big lot of difference. And if you hear my teenage son yelling in the background, he's playing Xbox with his friends. So now we're going to move on to the apricot. I finished up with the honey. The apricot is going to come into the honey. Look at that point. Oh, these pencils are great. Alright, so now we're going to pull the apricot down into the honey and pull it up some. Now, I haven't used these watercolor pencils other than doing the swatches. They blended out very, very nicely. Like the pigment just like melted out. There was nothing left. So I'm really excited, and I hope that I hope it works well. But and I actually did my swatches when I did them. I did them on just like plain old printer paper, old school cartridge paper. So if it worked that well on that paper, I'm hoping that we'll get similar results in this coloring book. The paper is nice and it's got some texture to it, otherwise the pencil wouldn't be able to grab onto it, but it's also nice and smooth at the same time. So I'm hoping that if I manage to get just enough water and just the right brush, we'll get a really good blend. Fingers crossed. Some of these little bitty spaces, I may not even just try to get, I may just leave them. If it's not noticeable, let me turn that off, that's kind of loud. Sorry about that, guys. If it's not noticeable, it gets really hot in this part of the house, so I have a window air conditioner behind me, just to kind of help the central air out. But anyway, as I was saying, if it's not too noticeable that there are parts that I didn't hit with the water, I'm probably not going to worry about it, because it'll take me ages to get down in here with a paintbrush if I do worry about it. Sometimes I just don't think things through before I dive into them. It's really fun to color with these pencils. Like, I'm not giving it hardly any pressure whatsoever, and it's just going down really easily. These, they almost feel softer than the regular Arteza colored pencils. It feels like my point isn't lasting as long, which is fine. I mean, I'm used to Prismacolors. I color with Prismacolors, so this is still better. Pull this up a little higher. So we'll do this and then we'll do the pink. Alright. Said video game screamer is now behind me getting a drink. At least he's not screaming at the Xbox though. He smiled. I was checking to see if he was giving me a dirty look. He's not. He knows. It's such a pretty color. I really, really like this color. I'll come back up here and pull some of it up and go really, really light because I feel like I don't have enough of it here. And I need to give myself some space to blend into the pink. Peony, I think, is what we picked. And it's a really nice pink. And like I said, if you see streaks or pencil lines or something, it really, at this point, we're going to blend a lot of that out. So it doesn't really make any difference. So I'm not really sure. Usually whenever it's late at night, I'm trying to go to bed, I'll go and find something to watch on TV or whatever for a while. Sometimes I'll watch YouTube before I crash out, and if I'm going to do that, if I'm watching YouTube before bed, I'll go watch like Chris Chang or Julia, I can't say her last name, Julie's Passion for Coloring, because they just do the coloring to music, which is, I don't know, it's relaxing for me, it's like soothing. Something I've just noticed, if you look at these pencils really close, the end cap is a little bit darker than the pencil. And I just realized this. It's like this with all the pencils. See? This one's darker than this one. This one's darker than this one. That's kind of cool. If anybody has the Albrecht Dürer pencils from Faber-Castell, because we were comparing them earlier, I wonder if Faber-Castell did that too. If the tops of the pencils are just slightly darker than the barrel. Now this color is a little bit darker, so I'm going to have to use a little bit more discretion. I'm holding my pencil back so that I don't press too hard. Because we're starting to get into pencils that have more noticeable pigment. Let me make sure I pull this down into that apricot. I am really liking how this is working out. Even before I have hit it with any water, these colors are just exactly what I wanted. Nice, soft, sunset colors. So hopefully you guys, if you, if you're somebody who kind of struggles with backgrounds, or pencil backgrounds intimidate you, but you like the way they look, or you like the way that soft pastel sunsets look, but you're not a fan of the dust. Watercolor pencils are supposedly, like I said, this isn't something I've done very often, they're supposedly a really excellent alternative to a lot of that media. So hopefully, if you guys stick around and watch the entire thing till we get to the end of the background, you will be able to find out And again, I mean, it is a pencil background. Don't get me wrong, because we are using a pencil to do this. But you don't have to be as meticulous. And you don't have to have like 7,000 layers to make this work. Because once you come in and hit it with the water, it'll melt all that pigment down. Now it does look like in order to get a better blend here, I'm going to need to come back in with that apricot right up here at the blend line. And that's okay. So I'm just going to take my apricot and we're going to go right back over where it meets into the pink. And that'll help blend it out just a little bit better. And guys, if it's a little darker in some spots than it is in others, you know what? For me, that's perfectly okay. Because that's watercolor isn't supposed to be perfect. Marker is like the perfect media. Colored pencil is your perfect media. If you want something to look absolutely perfect, you pick something that you can control. The joy of watercolor is that you can't control it. No matter how hard you try, there's certain techniques that you can use that are going to give you some control. But honestly, no matter what you do, there's some control that you're just not going to have. And so if you end up with some of the spots are a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, that's just part of the awesomeness that is watercolor. So, doesn't bother me a bit. It's really pretty. Unfortunately, it's so late, I'm not going to be able to get all this finished tonight. I was really hoping that I would be able to get it all finished. But life happens. It gets late. I still have to do laundry, and it's almost 11 o'clock. My kids are like, Mom, why are you always so tired? Are you serious right now? It's okay. I don't mind. I think there's something very rewarding about, doing things for your family, and even if they aren't always appreciative, you have it in your head that if it wasn't for you, your daughter wouldn't be wearing her favorite shorts right now because they'd still be on her bedroom floor because you didn't yell at her to pick them up. And my daughter, she just turned 17, so she's starting to get into her adult panic mode now. She's afraid she's going to go off to college into a dorm room and have absolutely no idea how to take care of herself. So we're going to start working a little bit harder on domestic tasks, teaching her how to do laundry, not like a bachelor, no offense bachelors, but teaching her how to, actually sort and separate her laundry, which stains to wash and which, temperature of water, when to use bleach, when not to use bleach, when to use Clorox 2 or OxyClean, when to use Woolite, when to use, that kind of thing. And I made a little bit of a mess, so I'm going to take my, no, I'm not going to, there it is. I'm going to take my eraser here. And since I'm going so light, mistakes are not an issue. And that just erased away clean. That's great. It completely erased. Come down here a little more. I really, really hope that all these colors melt completely with the water. So I was watching Dream in Color today. She was doing Gnomes in the Neighborhood with Neocolors 2. And she did something similar, which is kind of how, it kind of inspired me to do it this way. Watching her do her sky. And so yeah, thank you. That was a great idea. I wasn't really sure what to do with it because I was just going to do a normal blue sky, But then I have the blue birdhouse, and I was like, oh, that's going to clash so bad. Or, I mean, it's not, there's not going to be any contrast between the two unless I go back in with black. So we will just do it this way. And I may pull some of this peony color down into the flowers too. That might help the flowers pop a little bit more against the sky. We'll see what happens. Of course, I'm using the polychromos on the rest of the picture. I guess there's not really any reason why I couldn't mix my Arteza and my polychromos pencils. They do feel a lot the same, to be honest. The polychromos are obviously a little more pigmented, and they have better light fastness, but, you know, honestly, I think the Arteza pencils are a little softer. But the way that they lay down, I think, is very similar. So, like, I am just barely touching this paper, and there's a lot of pigment. Okay, so now we're going to do lilac. Sharpen it up. Nice sharp point. Okay. Of course, you guys know me. If I can get purple in my picture, I'm going to. Every single time. Oh, and it just blends in so seamlessly. I'm so happy. Sometimes I pick colors and they just don't work the way I thought they were going to work. It looks like these are going to be fantastic though, so that's a good thing. This should work. We'll bring it up to about like here. And then our darker purple can blend down into it. And that should work out just fine. So I figure what I'll do when I get all the color in is I'll start like with a strip, like I'll do this whole one side and we'll see what it looks like. And if I need to add more pigment, what I can do is I can just let the entire, where I wet it to do that strip, I can let it dry, and then I can come back in and add more pencil. So that's always an option with watercolor pencils. You just want to make certain that the area where you were working is completely dry. Otherwise you're gonna hurt your paper, and nobody wants that. Putting a pencil on a wet paper, and I know people have said that like if you dip your polychromos, or not polychromos, like an Albrecht Dürer into a glass of water, because there are some people who do it that way. They'll dip the tip of the pencil into water and then they'll go in on their painting. It's like a really bold line. And you can absolutely do that, but you're taking a risk if your paper is wet. You're taking a risk of damaging the paper. And I know some people say that it damages the pencil. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, I understand that the core of the pencils are water soluble, so if you dip it down in the water, but I don't think that the water is going to soak into the core of the pencil. I don't know. I could be wrong. I have no idea, but it just doesn't seem like that would happen to me. Unless the core of the pencil is more like a sponge than I'm imagining. And it could be. Hope you guys are enjoying this, and I really hope this works. Because if it works the way I hope it's going to work, I know some of you guys are going to go try it yourselves. And I really, really, really want to see what you do. So, as far as the Arteza watercolor, Arteza, I don't know how to say it. As far as their watercolor pencils go, I'm going to have to say I think I may actually like these more than I like their regular colored pencils. Not that I dislike their regular colored pencils. They're fine. I've colored several pictures with them. They're nice and bright and vibrant. But for whatever reason, these feel like they're even more pigmented than those. And they are so soft. They're not going to be like buttery, super creamy soft like a Prismacolor, because nothing is yet that I'm aware of. But they're pretty soft. They are pretty soft. And I think that for the money, for what you're going to spend, I think the set of 72 watercolor pencils is like $40 or less. I'll find a link to both. I'll find a link to the pencils on Amazon, and I'm gonna become an Arteza affiliate, so that link may not be in the video right away, but I am going to get that set up, and then I'll come back and add that link to the description later. But I will put my Amazon affiliate link down there. I'm trying to meld this down into the peony a little bit, and I may have to come back because that's a little bit harsher than I wanted it to be, but that's okay because we're so light. We still have so much room for more layers, which makes me so happy. I love layers. This is just a fun experience, and I was so stressed out because watercolor pencils for the life of me have not been my thing ever. I've never been able to get the hang of them. I have some Koh-i-Noor Mondeluz Aquarelle pencils, which are like the Koh-i-Noor Polycolor pencils, but they're the water-soluble version. I have used those, and I found that the pigment doesn't dissolve all the way. Even if you use a real light hand, the pigment just, it seems to leave some of it behind, and it's grainy. I have several of the Faber-Castell Goldfaber, however you say it. The hobbyist grade, not student grade and not artist grade, but hobbyist. Those are a little better, I think, than the Koh-i-Noor, in my personal opinion. I think they melt away better, but I don't have as many of them, and they are not quite as pigmented as the Koh-i-Noor. And these Arteza ones are just better in every single way than both of those. They're easy to use. As soon as I started putting that honey color down earlier, my stress in doing this, like my fear that I was going to struggle or it was going to be a mess, it just kind of vanished, which is a good thing. I can just kind of tell based on the swatches that I made and the ease that the color is going down on the page that I'm not going to have any trouble with it. Whether or not I've laid the color down right, though, and we're going to get a seamless blend when I come in with the water, that remains to be seen. But, fingers crossed. Alright, I need to get my eraser. Actually, I think I may need to sharpen this pencil. My hair is everywhere, you guys. It just won't stop. I have really long hair. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I have hair like in the back. My hair is almost down to my waist, and it's really curly. So people who have long hair, I'm sure you guys can attest that your hair likes to fall out, and because it's like so long, like you brush your hair and you know you lose like the normal amount of hairs on your hairbrush, but because your hair is so long, it looks like you've lost enough hair that you should be completely bald. And like if you don't clean your hairbrush after every single time you brush your hair, and like you clean it out once a week, it looks like you pulled a gerbil out of your hairbrush. Somebody come in the bathroom and look down and see the big wad of hair you pulled out of your brush and scream bloody murder. Long hair problems. Hashtag long hair problems. Alright, this is the last color. This is Purple Iris. This is also the darkest color. I'm still going to try to lay it down nice and light, though. And I realize that there should be, you know, like an orange and a blue if I really want to do the whole rainbow effect, but honestly, these colors seem to work so well together that I would hate to ruin this gradient with any other color. It looks so nice the way it is right now. I'm like very pleased. I put on when I took a shower earlier this evening before I sat down to do, when I first sat down to do this video this evening. I took a shower right beforehand and I used Sweater Weather, the shower gel and all the fixins, the body cream and shower gel and body spray from Bath and Body Works, because we talked about this in my last video. I have this unhealthy obsession with Bath and Body Works, and it just smells so good. It's one of my favorite scents from them. I really, really like it. My daughter really likes it too, so I'm hoping it wasn't one of their limited edition scents and they'll actually bring it back again. Like, it may be a seasonal thing, and that's okay. As long as if they never have it again, I'll probably cry. See, now you guys can see like where I've got some pencil strokes. You can see it all through this. I'm just not that worried about it. Because like I said, if it melts as thoroughly as it did on the swatch paper, you're not going to be able to see any of that. I'm choking my grip up on the pencil because it's harder for me to get in the little bitty spaces when I'm holding the pencil back really far. So I'm concentrating on not pushing too hard. And like I said, in these little spots where I'm not so sure if I'm going to be able to squeeze my paintbrush in, I want to make sure that I get it, the coverage as even as I can, so that maybe, just maybe, if I can't get back in here with the paintbrush, we'll just never know. But I think I will. I think I'll try it again here with the paintbrush, and if I make a little bit of a mess, well, so be it. We'll just color over it, because that's watercolor for you. Alright guys, I know I'm so close, and I'll finish this in the same video for you guys, but not for me, because I'm getting the yawns, and it is getting very late, and I still have to go do a load of laundry before morning. So, I am going to call this quits for today. I will put it down right beside me, and I will come back to it, hopefully tomorrow afternoon when I'm finished with work, and I am going to be doing a live stream. The live stream should be over by the time you guys actually see this video, but I am planning a live stream, and I'm very nervous about it because, you know, live streams, you can't edit things out, so it makes me a little nervous. I have social anxiety anyway, and I know there's a lot of people that can't make live streams, but like I said before, if you can't make it to the actual event, guys, it'll always be on YouTube. The only difference is that you'll probably hear me answering people's questions or comments in the live chat. So, which is also nerve-wracking, figuring out how I'm going to keep up with the live chat while I'm trying to color a picture. So, I'll work it out. It may just take some practice, and I'm hoping that I get around to doing a live stream, you know, once every couple of weeks or something, because it is a lot of fun. I don't get to go to them very often because I stay so busy and my schedule's so random, but when I do get to go to a live stream, like Becky's Color Escape, I was in one of hers the other day, and it was a whole lot of fun. When she got her Pablos, I was so jealous. I was like, oh no, you got the Pablos! And they're so pretty, and she loves them, and I knew that she would love them. I don't even know why I bothered asking her if she loved them, because we all know she loved them. But, yeah, so I was in that live stream, and it was a whole lot of fun. I like talking to everybody else. It's like, you know, so many people from the community all get together in the same place, and, you know, we laugh and we have a good time. And the trolls come out of the woodwork, and then, you know, we all laugh at the trolls, which is funny. I don't know why they do that. I don't know why the people that come into, like, random coloring live streams and just start saying weird stuff. I think that what they do is they think that there are other people in there. They're going to start, like, they're going to join in with them or whatever. And that's not how it works in our community. we have each other's backs. So, I don't know. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm just trying to add a little bit more color here and get a little smoother blend. Anyway, we'll finish this up on the next video, guys. I'm going to put my pencils in the drawer. We'll come back and I'll get all this nice and smooth. And then the next time I come back and the book is open, you will see me with my water brush in hand before it's all said and done, because we're going to finish it up. Alright, guys. I shall return. Guys, welcome back. So I am opening up my water. Keep two things of water, a big one to wash my brush often, knock all the nasties off, and a smaller one to re-wet my brush, to water down my pigment, more or less. Alright, so I'm going to move all the pencils out of the way here. My honey one is missing somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Oh well, I'll find it later. Oh, there it is. Found it. Move all those out of the way. I have a towel handy. I'm going to zoom you guys in. We're going to start down here in the honey and go up because I don't want too much of the dark getting in the way. So basically I just dip my brush in my water, blot it off on the towel, and hope it isn't too stiff, because I don't want to scrape the paint off of the page. I just want to mix it. And it does seem to be dissolving, which is a good thing. I'm not having to use too terribly much water, which is also a good thing, because I don't want my page to completely buckle. I know a lot of people don't really mind when they're coloring book pages buckle up. I am not a fan of that, however. I don't like it especially much. It makes it hard for me to color whatever's on the other side. So I'm just kind of coming down here where all the honey color is and going over it. And hopefully you guys are able to see what's happening with it. Let's see if I can do this and keep you guys in the frame while I go here. Going right over the areas where I put the pencil down. And because it's all the same color at this point, because it's so light, I don't even really have to rinse my brush. The sharp little point on this detail brush is making it nice and easy for me to get down in those really, really tiny areas. So I don't feel quite as nervous as I did about it. It is very pale, which is okay, because in a way that's kind of what I wanted with it. I wanted it to be pale. Alright, so now that we've got all the honey area done, I'm going to start working on where the apricot is. And this is where it starts getting darker, so I may end up having to rinse my brush just a little bit more frequently. We'll see. Be kind of gentle here, because if I'm not, I'm literally going to scrub the paint off the paper. I may actually need more water than I'm using. There we go. I have to use enough water, otherwise the pigment won't move at all. We can't have that. So once we get the apricot moved around, oh, that might have been a little bit too much water, so let me kind of break that up a little bit. And once I get the apricot all finished, we'll move up a color and start working on the peony. Now, there's very little denying that this is going to look like watercolor when it's finished, just because of the way the colors move. And I don't know, what we're going to find out here in just a little bit is whether once you have activated it and it's dried, how well it's going to reactivate. Because I'm trying to do this like one color at a time. And we're getting into the peony a little bit in some areas. I'm not seeing pencil strokes left behind, but I am seeing my brush strokes. So I'm just trying to use like a scumbling motion almost to prevent that from happening. And I didn't tape my paper down because I totally forgot. It's alright though. It will buckle whether or not you decide to tape it down. It's just that when you do tape it down, it tends to dry flatter for you when you're finished. Trying to pick up some pigment and move it to the areas where I have pulled it off. You know, I probably would have been better off using a bigger brush because I can see my brush strokes. And if I would have used a bigger brush, that probably wouldn't have happened. So let me even some of this out. Alright. I'm going to take this flat brush now. Get it good and wet. Make sure I have enough water on here. Oop. Didn't blot that nearly enough. I'm concentrating. Let me take a towel and blot where I got that really, really wet. I'm trying to get all the areas where I can use the bigger brush first, and then I'll come in around the detailed areas with a detail brush. Yeah, I'm gonna need the detail brush there. That's two. the pigment dissolves all the way, and I think it may just be the brushes that I'm using. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing. I think it may just be the brushes that I'm using, but it seems like it wants to pick the pigment up and move it more than it wants to dissolve it. So like it either doesn't dissolve it at all, or it dissolves it to the point that it's just picking it completely up and leaving white paper behind. But that is perfectly okay. Like I said, I didn't expect for this to look perfect at all. I expected it to look watercolored. There we go again. Like over here in this corner, it's just like taking the pigment right off. So I'm going to try to put it back. And then in other places, like once I get it going, it does just fine. It's like I'm using too much pressure on the paintbrush or something, which is interesting. And I know that there was enough pigment there because I tried to put it down evenly. Well, that's alright. Like I said, we're just going to try to even it out the best that I can here. Now I'm going to go back to my smaller brush and get in the little areas again. Too much aqua. This is fun though. I'm really enjoying just playing with the watercolor. And like I said, this is kind of a first for me, doing a background with this kind of stuff, so hey, if it doesn't turn out perfect, it doesn't turn out perfect. Things take practice. More water. Oh, I got way up in the tree that time. That's what I get for not paying any attention to what I'm doing. Watching the screen instead of my paper. But that will be a nice dark brown, so I should be able to go over it without any issue. That classic watercolor look. Messy. And I thought about taking the wet brush and hitting the tip of the pencil with it and then putting it on the paper, but I can't seem to do that consistently. Like I'll have some areas that if I do it like that, I'll get some areas really dark and other areas not dark enough, and it doesn't work well for me usually when I try to do it that way. I'll try to pick up some of the pigment that's back over here, move it into the areas where it's still light. Right, we're getting there. I don't have too much left to do. Although I do have like a big white spot here where I dried it with a towel, so I may have to come back in. I may have to try to take some of that peony and make it work right there with the off the pencil technique. Try to get in the little areas. Okay, now I'm going to try one more time to come back over here where I've got some of these colors that are darker and move them over. Like I've got places where I've got some of the peony color like bunched up. So I'm going to try to pick it up and move it over here. And see if I can't try to pull this way. Nice watercolory sky. It's a messy watercolory sky, but I don't mind. So something I need to learn is that I don't get to control everything, not even in art. And this is a nice way to see what things do when you are not the one telling it exactly what to do, and it just kind of does what it wants. Give me just a second and I will zoom you guys out. And then I will be all finished with this, and I'm going to let it dry and then finish the flowers, and then I will see if I can maybe smooth it out some with another layer of pencil and then more water. Alright, so let me zoom you guys out so you can see. Ooh, my goodness, that was crazy. Hope I didn't make anybody sick. So it looks like a watercolory background. It looks like an incredibly messy watercolory background, but like I said, that's okay. I'm still learning. So, you know, if it's got some splotches and stuff here and there, if I've gone over the lines here and there, I really don't mind too terribly much. Like I've got some pink right there. Oh well, I'm going to color it anyway. Alright guys, I want to thank you very much for tuning in today. If you are a member of my Facebook page or the Coloring Connection group, you will be able to see this when it is finished. You may see it in another like color and chat on video. I'm not 100% certain. I am going to finish the flowers, and I am going to do the birdhouses and the tree, and we'll see whether I am going to add another layer of pencil to it. I may just leave it. It may look a lot nicer once it is dry. But that is the Arteza watercolor pencils. Like I said, I'm so new to watercolor pencils, I feel really bad forming an opinion about them. But coloring with them, like actually laying them down on the paper, was amazing. They are so nice. They are so soft. I absolutely love them, and I can't wait to use them again. So if I was going to practice with a pencil, if I'm going to recommend watercolor pencils to a beginner, I would definitely recommend those, just because of how easy they are to get down onto the paper. If you want to see more videos like this one, where I'm trying new things for the first time, showing you things that I'm way more confident about than watercolor pencils, make sure that you subscribe to this channel and then ring the notification bell so you know when there's a new video. If you have already subscribed and you think this video was a good video, please give it a thumbs up and help other people find it. If you look down in the description box below, you're going to find all kinds of helpful links to things like my Instagram page, my Pinterest page, the Facebook page, all that good stuff. Just have a look around. All the products that I used in the video today will be down in the description box, along with my Amazon affiliate links, which I link to the cheapest version of things I can find on Amazon to help you guys out. So be sure to have a look at that. And in the meantime, that is all I have for this video today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, happy coloring.